friends, it's Amanda here, and today I have no makeup on because we're going to be testing out a bunch of new makeup. No new foundation today, but I am still here with no makeup on because I do have a new concealer that I want to test out. I may add some foundation to my face eventually, but I really want to see how this looks on its own first. We're going to be testing out a really wide variety of products today. I have a couple of drugstore products, a couple of quite high-end products, and I'm also very excited. I have a new indie brand eyeshadow palette. This is the Gargoyle palette from Unearthly. So that's the eyeshadow we're going to be using. I always think this is fun. This is just sort of a casual way to play with makeup, test out some new things. I'm going to be starting with this concealer from Pacifica. This is the Dream Lit Glow Concealer, and I have the shade 11, which I think looks a smidge too light for me, but the next shade looked like it was going to be a little bit too golden for me, so I think we'll be able to make this work. So I'm going to zoom you in. Oh, this is actually in a little glass tube too. Interesting. Before I apply that concealer, I'm going to zoom you in and give you a look at my completely bare face. I am not wearing any makeup at all except for some tinted lip balm because I am truly addicted to these Enchanted Autumn lip balm. So I am wearing some lip balm, but otherwise that's it. No other makeup. I've got quite the little scar left behind from a extreme stress blemish I got while I was working on the Enchanted Autumn reveal stuff. So it's healing, it's flat, it's just I have been getting this really strong discoloration after blemishes lately. This is literally one left over from this summer. It's fading slowly, but annoying. Anyway, let's take a look. I'm just going to show you all of my fine lines, wrinkles, crinkles, scars, freckles, veins, redness. This is how skin looks. So if you have any of this stuff going on, so does everybody else. Don't worry. You're fine. Let's apply some of this concealer and see how it looks. This has a pretty classic small doe foot applicator. I'm just going to put a little bit on one side. And I'm using my Singe FO2 brush to blend it. This is what I always use for concealer, unless I am literally blending it just with my finger. I think if I was using it with a foundation, it wouldn't be quite so noticeable. Oh, it's actually not too bad. Definitely did a nice job of covering some of the redness and just evening out the under eye. It's not super full coverage. I would call it more like a medium, but it looks really nice and natural. It doesn't feel really dry, but it does feel dried down. I don't know if that makes sense. It doesn't have a matte feeling to it, but it also doesn't feel like it stayed wet to the touch after it was blended in. I might be able to just use this. We'll see. Let's see how it looks elsewhere on the face. Is it just me, or does this look kind of good as my foundation? Because it's not too far off my neck. I'm sure if I put a little of my MAC Mineralized Skin Finish Natural on top, that it would even out to look a little bit more like my skin tone. I think it looks pretty good. This is the side with concealer. The texture looks nice and natural. Let's cover the other half of the face, and then I'll do a smidge of setting powder to help even out the tone a little bit. Did I do too much that time? I'm going to switch to my foundation brush since I'm covering my whole face. Overall, the finish looks nice and natural on my skin. Coverage-wise, I think it's probably buildable up to a medium coverage. I want to see if I can get a little bit more coverage over this nice little scar I've got going on here. Not bad. Not bad. That looks pretty good. I am going to add a little bit of this powder. It's the MAC Mineralized Skin Finish Natural in the shade Light Plus, and I'm just going to throw some of that on real quick. There we go. That looks good. Let's do a little bit of brow pomade. This is from Surratt. Surratt is very, very bougie, very pricey, but definitely what I consider to be a luxury experience type of brand. So, oh, okay. So this is the clear brow pomade. Look at the brush. It's really quite bristly. It's not what I expected. Okay, let's just see what happens. I didn't fill in my brows or anything, so this might not be my best brow day just because I'm not using a tinted brow gel. But I'm rocking the natural brows all the time. Oh, this is actually a lot easier to use than I expected. I was a little intimidated. Actually, pretty nice. Truly, we're just gonna have to wait and see how this holds up. A clear brow gel isn't, in my opinion, something that you can just slap on and tell if you like it. You can immediately tell if you don't like it, but you can't always immediately tell if you do like it. It really has to stand up over time. So I'm sure that by the end of this video, the jury will still be out, but always fun to try something new. Let's add some blush now. I have these Giorgio Armani Luminous Silk Cheek Tints. I have 3 different shades. This is really exciting because I've never gotten PR from them before, and I love a cream blush. So this is shade 41, shade 50.5, little soft peachy shade, and 62. Ooh, this is pretty. Okay, I'm gonna do a swatch. Interesting doe foot. It's sort of like a lopsided shaped doe foot. I have never seen anything like this before. This is probably a proprietary custom doe foot. 41. This is 41. Really hot corally red. 50.5. This is like a light little peachy color, much, much softer. And then 62 is the one that I'm most intrigued by. This looks like a little cool mauvey berry color. Oh, yeah. These are all pretty, but I am definitely going for shade 62 today. For sure. Especially since I know I'm using a little cool toned palette today. So I think this is gonna be really nice. Let's just start with a little bit. And I'm gonna use my ColourPop stippling brush because that's what I always like to use for cream blushes. It looks very soft, very natural. It definitely just sunk right in. It didn't disturb the makeup underneath, even though I powdered. So that's pretty impressive. Let's do some on this side. See if I still like it the second time around. I think I might have added too much on this side. I might have to go back and build up a little bit more. I think I did a little bit more. Might just do a little bit more. Now we can see if how this layers, if it can build on itself. Oh, beautiful. Was really easy to blend in. I love this color. The finish is really nice. It has definitely that silky finish. It's not dewy, glowy, but it's also not a flat matte. It's a nice in between, and it pairs really well with that finish of the Pacifica concealer too. That's just a fortunate coincidence. I just got this PR package from Kaja. They have some new shades of their Juicy Glass lip oil. They added some milky shades, and I think that this Fig Smoothie one is going to be perfect for this look. There's a little like heart in the lid. That would probably be very annoying to carry around all the time, but I love a cute little kitschy cute thing. So, ooh, this smells very good. It's very juicy. Juicy glass for sure. Ooh, addictively good smelling. It feels very nice. Ooh, so juicy. Okay, now let's try on this Gargoyle palette. This is just in time for spooky season. How? Oh, my nails match. I love that for me. Okay, focus. When we look inside, we've got this really cool color palette. Lots of neutrals on the top row, some blues on the bottom row. Got a little bit of green, a little bit of purple. You know, I love to see it. This is very, very pretty. I do not know what type of look I'm gonna do today. Just gonna prime my lids first, as usual. I was so afraid that Ulta was discontinuing this primer, but they just did a huge rebranding and repackaging of a bunch of their Ulta, like, house brand stuff. So they just repackaged it. They say it's the same great formula, but we'll see. I have another one in the old packaging, so don't roast me if it looks like I'm using this forever because this is almost used up. But they had this on sale right before they did their repackaging, and I noticed it because I was linking it and it was on super sale. I think it was like 6 or $7. So I bought one then because I knew I was almost out of this one. So don't roast me if you see me using this old one for like the next year. I'm just gonna set real quick all over my lid with this one because I know these shades are gonna be really pigmented, and I find that it's easier to blend a pigmented shadow if I set my primer. So that's what I'm gonna do first. I don't usually talk you through tutorials. I usually voice them over because I ramble too much if I try to talk through.
One thing I absolutely love to do is dip into multiple matte shades to manipulate the depth or the tone. So I'm mixing Ancient Spire, which is a soft brown shade, and Deep Sleep, which is a very gray shade. And that way I end up with this incredibly neutral shade in my crease. Then I'm going to add this pale desaturated blue shade called Veil, and I'm packing that onto the inner part of my eyelid with a small flat brush. I started off with a soft layer and then I went back and built up the color a little bit more because these shades are quite pigmented. A little bit goes a long way with these colorful matte shades. Next, I'm taking this deep eggplant purple shade. This one's called Sinister Figure. And with a really small, fluffy brush, I'm adding that all over the outer part of my lid and also up into the outer half of my crease area. And then I'm going to take that same brush without adding any additional product, and I'm just going to kind of squish it to flatten it out and run a little bit of what's left over of that purple along the lower lash line. Then I just went back with a big fluffy brush and blended all of those shades together around the edges of my original transition shade. That way I would get kind of a nice smooth blend. These shades are super pigmented, but they blend together very easily. So I was impressed by that.
Oh, I really want to use this color. This looks so pretty. This one would be good too. One of these two. Hold on, let me swatch them. Forgotten Fortress, definitely more blue. Mystic Stone. Okay, this is Forgotten Fortress. This is Mystic Stone. Oh, 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 I'm definitely using Mystic Stone. Oh my gosh, that's so pretty. Wow, 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 wow. I love it.
One thing about me is I cannot resist a sparkly metallic purple.
Oh, holy smoke-a-moly. That is gorgeous. Oh, I love it. My goodness.
I was wearing this during the daytime, so I didn't want to go too deep in vampy, but I did decide to take this super deep gray shade called Cathedral Shadows, and using a small pencil brush, I'm just smudging that along my upper lash line. It gives the look of a smudgy eyeliner, but it's a bit softer since it's an eyeshadow. and I just buffed that right along the outer parts of my lash line on top there.
Beautiful. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. Okay, I'm gonna stop because everything in me wants me to add shimmer down here and then put something shiny in the waterline and then add a brow bone highlight and then do more and more and more. And I can never, ever stop because I am a sparkle gremlin. So I'm gonna stop. But just know inside I wish there were 1,000 more sparkles on my eyes. That looks so nice. Truly, really, really like it. Okay. Last new thing I'm trying today is the anti-gravity mascara from Milani. I know this isn't new, but it's new to me. Don't watch this part if eye stuff freaks you out because I know a lot of people hate it. All right, I know that I have really dark eyeshadow, so it might be kind of hard to tell how. Whoa, it's like a giant peanut. That is a large, large applicator. Let's see though how it works. I'm just gonna do one side immediately, very volumizing. Oh, yeah, not bad. I don't like to use these really big bristles on the bottom lashes because I feel like I always end up bumping my under eye. Okay, this is definitely very volumizing. I think it has the potential to be clumpy if I'm not careful. This is no mascara. This is with nice. Okay, this looks good. We'll have to see how it wears, if it holds up, if it gets flaky or smudgy. But first impression is it looks pretty good. Also, this applicator works way better than I thought it was going to because it's large and in charge, so I was a little intimidated by it. That's what she said. I am so sorry immediately, but I can never help myself.
The finished look is so cute. It's definitely a very fresh, more natural take on the face, and then some really fun pops of color on the eyes. That is definitely very in line with my own personal style. I ended up wearing this makeup all day, and everything held up pretty well. The only thing that I felt a little let down by was the clear brow gel. Everything else wore nicely. Of course, I had to reapply the lip oil, but other than my brow hairs getting a little disheveled, I was happy with the wear time of everything else on this makeup.
First impression of everything is positive, I would say. Some things I'm definitely going to need some more time to really feel out and solidify my thoughts. Obviously, how all of this stuff wears will determine ultimately how I feel about it, especially when it comes to the mascara and the brow gel. These are the ones that I am least comfortable forming an opinion on from a first impression standpoint because ultimately these are the ones that have the most potential to let me down throughout the day in my experience. So far, seems nice, but we'll have to wait and see. Are my brows held in place? Do my lashes smudge or flake? All of that type of stuff. So I'll say no determination yet on the brow gel and mascara. The concealer is really nice. It definitely ended up being a bit of a better shade match than I expected as well. I have quite dry skin, so anything that says glow in the name of a complexion product is something that I'm going to view favorably. And I think this looks really nice. It's definitely not glowy dewy. It's more of like a natural hydrated looking glow. Obviously, I'm going to keep testing everything out, but I do have high hopes for this one. This Luminous Silk Blush and the Juicy Glass Gloss are pretty easy products for me to like. Personally, these are just the types of things that I really enjoy. I definitely see myself going back to these two things again tomorrow. So that's high praise from a first impression. If I had to pick favorites, these would be up there. Also, unsurprisingly, really, really like this palette. I'm a big fan of the Unearthly kind of cool, creepy branding. I really love the cool tones in here. I love the mix of neutrals, kind of muted colors, a little bit of jewel tone pop in there. So this is a color scheme that I really gravitate towards. And I'm very intrigued by this bright blue matte shade. So I think the next time I use this palette, I might be doing another look with some blue in it. This is gorgeous. It is pigmented, silky soft. I already had high expectations for this, and based on my first impression, I do feel like the Gargoyle palette is going to live up to those expectations. So this is another one of my favorites of the day. But in general, everything worked out pretty well for me. I would say at least at this point, first impression is no duds, no flops, and I like the way my makeup looks. So that's really what I'm looking for out of a trying new makeup video. I would love to hear what you think about these products. Have you tried any of these? Are you interested? I always love to hear what you think about things too, so make sure you leave all your thoughts down in the comments below. As always, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye! Okay, are you ready? Okay, say something quickly. What? What? Nobody's even using you. Be quiet. You know what to do, editing Amanda. Why do I always make you work so hard? Oh, yeah, because this is literally your job. Good point. Focus, Amanda. Focus. Bet you didn't think I was going to go for the blue, did ya? A good dark purple matte is hard to beat. Okay, I need a pencil brush. ¿Dónde está mi pencil brush? ¿Cómo se dice pencil brush en español? Is it a literal translation or does it have its own word? That's what I really need to know. Bilingual makeup artists, sound off in the comments. Is it literally, what would it be? Sepia de lápiz? That can't be right, because that makes me think of like a brush for brushing pencils. But maybe, I don't know. Is it a literal word or does it have its own translation? Please tell me if you know. What was I gonna say? Hmm. I do feel like this gargoyle. What? She's cute. I mean, I didn't mean me. I meant this makeup, but it could be both. It could be both. Hopefully the new ColourPop matte lipsticks are on their way to me. So when the matte lipsticks launched, they sent them to me and then my package got damaged in transit. So it got returned to sender and they had to send me a new one. And it's out for delivery today. So I'll be filming that soon. Hopefully everybody isn't to the point of not caring about that, but I definitely want to make it just as a reference anyway. Since I do tend to make videos about all the ColourPop launches, that is new since my big comprehensive ColourPop lip video. Definitely go check that out because it was a ton of work. So I really appreciate it. But I want to make sure, even if it's not like super popular and in demand, that it's there as a resource. Maybe someday it'll be helpful to somebody. That's all I can really hope for. All right, I am gonna go make myself some lunch and edit this video so that you can watch it. Okay. Thanks for hanging out with me. I really appreciate it. I'm glad you're here. You want to know why? No, that's not why. It's because I love your face. Okay, see you later. Bye.